Now,
Okay,
we are live.
okay. And record, and I'm going to begin the meeting. Welcome, everybody. I'm going to open this meeting of the Town of Griswold Board of Selectmen regular meeting on Tuesday, November 25th, 2025 at 6 p.m. Item number 1, call to order. Tina Falk, first selectman. Wayne Malin, second selectman, and Matthew Danieluk. Do you want to be called Matt or Matthew?
Matt is fine, that's what.
Matt Danieluk, third selectman. Welcome, gentlemen, to your first meeting, our first meeting. Okay, and item number 2, Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all.
Okay, move on to item number 3, approval of minutes. All that we have right now is November 17th special meeting minutes.
Well, unfortunately, neither Matt and I were at the meeting, although I did catch the tail end of it as a resident. But the only question I have is on item 5. When they made a motion to submit the proposal for building fees.
Mhm.
Do we, I believe if that's a change to the ordinance, you gotta have a town meeting to accept those, right?
Yes, and I believe that is going to be on the town meeting,
Okay,
and that's in January. Any questions, Matt? Anything?
I don't. As such, I will motion to approve the meeting minutes 3A.
I'll make a second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And one further thing on that, there is a special meeting on the building fees with the Board of Finance next week. So there's going to be further discussion on that. Item number 4, correspondence. We have 3 items. Do you have any questions on any of the correspondence?
No, I read through it. I don't have any comments on the 3 items.
Okay.
Yeah, looks good to me.
All right. Number 5, old business, discussion and possible action on update of pickleball courts. Nothing new to report on that. It's probably going to wait until we get further into the winter and early spring or early spring. So we're going to table that until further notice.
You want a motion?
Sure.
I will motion to table discussion and possible action on updated pickleball courts.
Can I ask a question? If it's not gonna come up till March or something like that, we can just remove it from the agenda,
We can.
and then we can bring it back up in March.
Sure. Yep.
So I'll make a motion that we remove 5A until springtime, we can talk about it again.
I will second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to remove item 5A. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, item 5B, discussion and possible action on the Economic Development Committee and non-disclosure agreement. Wayne, I think I gave you earlier today. There was a document that was left for the board to review. The EDC chair, Tom Giard, left this document with me. Okay, I think that what we need to do, and Matt, here's yours. I think that what we need to do is take the time to review it over the next couple of weeks and put it on the agenda for further discussion at our December 9th meeting.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely would like time to review.
Mhm.
We talked about this earlier, and I think we need to see what other towns do, so we're kind of like consistent. I'd also like to I've been going to the meetings, I'd like to sit in with them
Mhm.
as a representative, work with them through these issues, so we can all get on the same page and resolve it.
Mhm.
So we can work like a team. If you don't mind, I'll try to see if I get a hold of Mr. Giard, get a special meeting together with them and talk it through.
I mean, I think we should discuss how we want, I think we should talk about this amongst us as a board first before we take action on anything with them, you know what I mean? So we're at least on the same page with what we want to see happen with this, or what their response is to the request from the, the board to sign the non-disclosure. Cause I don't want you to start going to meetings and then we decide in December that we want to change something or do something different.
Oh, I don't have a problem getting together and talking about it.
Yeah, we should have more follow-up is my only thought.
Yeah, we can have it, if we can have a informational discussion amongst ourselves and then, as long as we don't make a decision on anything, so.
Yeah, I think that's what it needs.
No, agreed.
Just a discussion about it for sure.
Okay.
So I will find some time to set up a meeting, before our next regular meeting.
Okay,
Matt, okay,
yep, that works for me.
okay,
So we are,
somebody want to make a motion
Make a
that we,
motion that we'll have a, meeting to discuss amongst ourselves, how to proceed to move forward on 5B.
I will second that motion.
okay, we have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Item number 6, new business, discussion and possible action on 2 tax refunds for a total of $157.34 as presented by Leona Sharkey, tax collector.
I'll make a motion to accept the 2 tax refunds for a total of $157.34 as presented by Leona Sharkey, tax collector.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve item 6A. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay. 6B, discussion and possible action on social media issues. I have nothing.
I have nothing.
Nope. Nothing.
Okay, no action. 6C, discussion and possible action on additional proposed changes to ethics. 6C. So these proposed changes are being reviewed by town's attorney. They will come back from town's attorney, and this particular ordinance is also going to be on the next town meeting. So right now it's being reviewed by town's attorney, these proposed changes.
So what is its function then on our agenda?
Oh, they just wanted us to be aware, because what's gonna happen is it's gonna come back to the Board of Selectmen. Right now, ordinances are going to town's attorney for review. The changes that they made are going to be reviewed by the attorney for comment, for legal opinion.
Okay,
And then if it looks like everything is in place and proper and done the right way, then it will go to town meeting.
but we're gonna have another opportunity to review that and discuss it after it comes back from town's attorney? Or
Yes, yes.
Cause I have at least one question about it.
Okay,
Same here.
okay.
I think we've got the same question.
Do you want to tell me what the questions are now and I can forward them?
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
What do you got, Matt? You go first.
I was curious, they are moving to 6 members regular with 1 alternate, which gives you certainly an uneven number. But then they elected to split, instead of an even party split, 3 and 3, it's 4 and 2 is required. So it's a minimum representation of 2 members of 1 party, which doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. Why wouldn't you just, if you're gonna have 6 members, why wouldn't you just have 3 from each of the predominant parties? So that way there is always, at the very least, even, not that we're that far apart on a lot of stuff, but that way at least there is equal representation on either side regardless, because it's ethics. It's not like it's not, a regular board or committee. I was just curious why the decision to go to 4 and 2, or why to 6 members in general, and then why 4 and 2 in terms of
okay.
party members.
And as a matter of fact, that was the same question I had.
Was it? Okay. Do you want to add anything to that?
The only thing that I would ask is if they're going to 6
Yes.
and there's a tie, at least it's going to be up to the chairperson to break the tie, which is typical.
Mhm.
Just to clarify.
Okay. All right, somebody want to make a motion that these changes be presented also? Review?
See, I'll make a motion to present the additional proposed change of ethics commission to the town attorney for review.
Before I second that, is this the moment for me to say that I don't think that this should be set up as 4-2, right? Or is there another moment when it comes back from town's attorney where we're gonna sit at this table and talk about whether or not more changes should be made to this? Because if this is going to town's attorney as it is,
Mhm.
then I wouldn't send it there without changing that to 3 and 3, because to me, unless somebody can give from ethics wants to give me a really excellent explanation as to why it would be 4-2,
And how are they going to
break the tie.
break the tie?
Okay,
So I don't know that it should move forward until we have at least answers to those questions.
The process is typically, like Tina
I don't
says,
want to get in your way.
take it, no, you're
You good?
all right. Take it to the attorney first and he review it. Meantime, we can have, Tina could send those questions to the ethics chair
Yeah,
and have that answered for us, for when we
Perfect.
get the, back from the lawyer.
I just don't want to pay the attorney and then be like, actually, we need you to change this now. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Okay.
So then I will second Wayne's motion to submit this to the town.
So we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Okay. All right, 6D, discussion and possible action on appointment of Richard Wazalek and James Barney as members at large of the school building committee with an effective date of 11/18/25. Okay, I have a question on this. Are these, I don't want to say, well, openings or placement on committees, do we put this out on the website? Is it open? Is it proposed, almost like advertised to the general community? Like anything else. I mean, I kind of have the feeling, or the sense that it should be opened up more to the general public, to the general community. Because it seems like we operate within a circle, and I think the opportunity should be out there for more people, if they'd like to volunteer on some of these committees.
So since Matt and I are both new on the board, I don't know if we've been utilizing the website for that. I've looked at it from time to time. I know it is not up to date on what
Nope, it is not.
people
Yeah.
or, what positions are available. So that needs to be looked at. And I don't know who controls that or whatever, but I do know that Jim and Rich have been on it. And I know that their terms were coming up. I think that's why you put in for it again. And
Reappointment,
Rich also
Okay.
put in for it again.
okay,
And it is a committee that sits in limbo until it is needed.
I know they've been canceling
Yeah,
the meetings, yeah.
So
Yeah.
I understand your concern about that, but we do have to get better at updating the website.
Well, if I can touch on the website, we have known for a long time that the website is inadequate. There has been a very tight hold on a very tight hold on who has access to it, who updates it, who adds things, takes things away. So it used to be a former finance director, and it is now, I think it's going to be taken over by Matt Danieluk, who is pretty good with IT, as a matter of fact. He's been reviewing the website. He has found numerous problems with it. So that whole website is going to be revamped and made much more accessible. So,
I think, since we're on that subject, if I could backtrack for a second, or I guess I'll finish the website conversation first. multiple people in the town hall should have a login. Like the town clerk should have a login to be able to post jobs or agendas. You should be able to get into it. If you need to see something, Wayne, so you should have a unique login. And it's not difficult to give someone a specific login. So if you make a change and we go, oh no, why did the entire thing get deleted? We go, oh, Wayne was in there, or Matt was in there, or Lisa was in there, and we know what happened and where the change occurred. And then there's fail safes. If another, if 5 different people are sitting here 2 years from now, then you have some institutional knowledge with different personnel in the town hall already that also have access that can give another group of elected officials up-to-date information so it can continue to carry forward. It definitely is not something that should be under just 1 or 2 people's purview.
Agree.
There are many things that can be improved with the website and that we can better utilize it for, and I absolutely can take on some of that, and then if anybody can come in here and say, hey, I noticed that this is wrong on the website, and we can discuss it and we can update it or change it or do whatever needs to be done.
Well, I know, I think a lot of the departmental information is, it's not correct. It's old, it's outdated,
Mhm.
and that needs to be changed. So,
Yeah, and the process of saying, oh no, we need to say that the dump is closed today. It shouldn't be, well, the secretary's out to lunch, so we're gonna have to wait to get that update, right? It should just be, you're the head of the department, you could probably just log in and put that note in there, right? If you felt comfortable with it, or multiple people have access, it's easier to do that. Communication is easier.
agree.
But with the point about, did we advertise that? So I do think with this particular committee, maybe part of the conversation is institutional knowledge. Probably matters with school building committee, right? But I do think at the bare minimum, if there are vacancies on any of our committees, it should be made public.
Put it on the agenda.
At the very bare minimum, right?
Yeah.
Like, if it should go on the website as a notice. We have a social media page for the town. There's no reason not to post it in Griswold Now and Griswold Discuss. There's no reason not to go to the heads of each, the RTC and the DTC, and say, hey, this is coming up. If you have anybody that you want to put forward, like, I just, not to say that we wouldn't ultimately pick exactly the 2 people that already submitted their letters for it, because like I said, institutional knowledge might win out in that, in a board, in a committee that only meets when it's needed, right?
Right.
But at the least, I didn't know until I sat in this seat and looked at the letters in the agenda that there were openings on that committee. So I feel.
Yeah,
like we
and
should do a better job
that's my point.
pushing it
so-
out. Yeah, that's my thought as well.
All right. So how do you want to proceed with 6D?
I would like to make a motion to either table or extend 6D until we've had an opportunity to open those committee seats to the general public and see whatever comes in. I don't think it should be an arbitrary, like, it shouldn't be open-ended, though. We should probably pick an amount of time that is appropriate to do that. I don't know if you have any thoughts on it, Wayne.
I think if we're gonna do that, I don't think we could post it and give it 2 weeks till the next board of selectmen meeting, and if we don't have any takers, then we just assign,
2 weeks?
2 weeks.
Okay, so we're gonna essentially we will table it and advertise for those committee seats for the next regular meeting of the board.
I don't even know if there's any openings right now besides those 2 positions.
We could certainly check.
Yeah, because there might be more than the 2.
Yeah, okay. Then I'll motion that we push 6D to the next regular meeting of the Board of Selectmen pending advertising of those seats.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, 6E, discussion and possible action on appointment of Board of Selectmen members to serve on the school building committee with an effective date of 11/18/25. Do we have any interest in that?
You or me, Matt? I'll take the next one if you wanna take that one.
Either way is fine. either way is fine. I don't have a problem with that either.
Matt?
Yeah, that's fine. I'll do school building committee.
Okay, so I'll make a motion that we appoint Matt Danieluk as the Board of Selectmen member to serve on the school building committee with an effective date of 11/18/25.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. And 6F, discussion and possible action on Board of Selectmen member to serve on the Capital Improvement Committee.
Can I ask a stupid question that I probably should ask before you?
No question is
motioned,
stupid.
Seconded and voted on that? Is there any world in which that's a conflict of interest because I work in those buildings?
I'm sorry, Rich?
No, I was just saying, I think the same.
Yeah, it hit me right after that. I was like, well, wait a minute, I do work on that campus. I am employed by Groveland Public Schools. I'm just curious.
I don't think there is
No,
It was
yeah.
really just following the
And you're-
project.
your discussion, I was gonna save it for public comment, but on the school building committee, there's a certain number of members that have to be on it.
Mhm.
2 Board of Ed members, 1 Board of Finance member, 1 from P and Z. A Board of Selectmen member, obviously the superintendent of schools. I believe it's 2 or 3 members in the community. I would ask that you reach out to the superintendent. It's in one of our policies
Mhm.
where it will break down the exact number of people that are needed for that committee.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, as long as it doesn't seem like there's any issue with it from the perspective that I work there, then I have no problem with that.
Matt, would you like me to take it?
No,
Okay,
well, yeah, well, I mean, you don't have a lot else to do, so maybe you should.
That's true. That's true, but I don't,
Gets past Thanksgiving should be fun.
Yeah,
I
I know.
oh, lay off Thanksgiving.
After next week.
You're
things will
crying
calm
out loud. People need to eat. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead with,
down. Sorry.
with the motion and that decision then, right?
I'm good with it.
Yes.
Okay, and then we went to 6F, the Board of Selectmen member to serve on the Capital Improvement Committee.
I can do that.
All right, so I will make a motion that we appoint Wayne Malin as the Board of Selectmen member to serve on the Capital Improvement Committee.
I was second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. All right, thank you both. 6G, discussion and possible action on appointment of Joe Savino as an alternate member of the ZBA to fill a term of 11/18/2025 to 11/16/2027.
I'll make a motion to appoint Joe Savino as an alternate member of the ZBA to fill a term of 11/18/2025 to 11/16/2027.
Okay,
I will second that motion.
okay, so we have a motion and a second to appoint Joe Savino as an alternate on ZBA. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And then we have item number 7, any other business that may properly come before the board. I don't have anything as of this meeting.
Unfortunately, I do.
Okay,
So during the next to the last Board of Selectmen meeting, there was a motion to disband the Ordinance Committee.
mhm,
And I've got some comments to make. I wanted to read in the record on why I think it should be reinstated.
Okay.
During the last BOS meeting or the one before that, the outgoing members, it was decided to remove the Ordinance Committee of its service to the town, with no knowledge of the chairperson nor any other members. The reasoning was to improve efficiency towards moving efficiencies forward and utilizing individual boards to process their own changes with lawyer reviews and Board of Selectmen approval to a town meeting. Here is my problem with that decision. First, to remove a committee without properly developing a working relationship with said committee, meaning communicating that the expectations were to work together to improve efficiency, had never occurred. For anything to succeed, it takes both parties to succeed. Second, to remove a process without developing the new process to replace it, not only is inefficient, but confusing to those that don't know it. Third, it was apparent to me that the real reason was to remove the committee so we could move forward with the permit fee changes in the Monday meeting. And that was the last action asked for by the Ordinance Committee. Even though we had done what was asked, there was no response from the requestees. Fourth, the Ordinance Committee policies, the code of the town by reviews every number of years to ensure that it meets current statutes and regulations, as it currently was in the process of doing, about 75% completed. One new ordinance change was sitting with the previous Board of Selectmen for nearly a year, waiting for a town meeting to approve it, which is Public Health and Safety Ordinance. Also, I feel it was very unfortunate in the way this item was written on the agenda, not giving anybody a heads up but what the decision was for the ordinance committee, which leads me to believe I'd like to reinstate the ordinance committee and do a better job to work with and coordinate with them with all boards and commissions going forward. So I'm making a motion that we reinstate the ordinance committee based on those reasons.
Okay, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
All right, so we have a motion on the floor, but, I would just say this. I'm sorry, what?
You
Got the
didn't
motion.
vote to bring it on the agenda.
Oh.
No.
So you don't have a motion, but you vote to add. it to the
Okay.
agenda.
Okay.
Well, here's what I'd like to say. If you stated very clearly how you feel, I would make a motion that you share that information with the board and that we table this until our next meeting, when we have discussion about, the EDC document.
Okay,
We can also have discussion about your document. And then we can add it to the agenda for the December 9th Board of Selectmen meeting.
I'm fine, however, if you, yeah, having more time to discuss it and consider, I will say. I assumed that that was gonna come up. I know, several people have reached out. We have talked about ordinance in general, and so I have been doing a fair bit of homework on the committee as a whole and how it ended up where it did. I'm comfortable with taking some more time to discuss it in our same informational meeting regarding the EDC and then bringing it back on at the December 9th.
All right, because you're right. I mean, new members on the board, there is a history with this. And I think that you probably need to be brought up to speed with the history and with why certain decisions were made. So I think it's important that we sit as a board and discuss it.
all right, well, I was part of that history, I think, the last 2 years since I was on the committee, but I will be willing to sit down at another meeting. I'll make a motion that we discuss this at the same meeting as we discuss the EDC issue amongst ourselves, and then put it on the agenda for the December 9th meeting.
All right, so I will second Wayne's motion to further discuss that at the informational meeting and bring it back up on the 9th. Should we still have motioned all of that onto the agenda?
Still have to do it.
I'd like the motion that we put what we were just talking about on the agenda.
I'll second that. Thanks, Todd, for bringing that up.
Okay, and of course, we don't have Lisa here to remind us.
Yeah.
So we have a motion and a second to officially add on Wayne's document to the agenda. So a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And then we have a motion to table, review the document in a Board of Selectmen meeting for discussion, and then add it to the December 9th agenda.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you, Wayne. Any other business that may properly come before the board?
Have none.
I have none. Okay. So then we move on to item number 8, public forum. Yes.
Rich Waslick, Annex 3, I'm actually the chairman of the ordinance committee. First, like the state, we have kind of a two-year goal on it, so bear with me. I'm kind of disappointed that there was no communication with the ordinance committee or the chairman about this business even taking place. Over my time as the chairman of the ordinance committee, many things have been completed and sent to the board of selectmen over the last two administrations. Communication that has been what has not taken place, not the actual work of the ordinance committee. Over the last two administrations, the following ordinances were requested, drafted by the ordinance committee, submitted to the board of selectmen with no action taken. One was the noise and alarm ordinance was requested and worked on, drafts were sent to the board of selectmen, but no action was taken by them. Two, the town building committee ordinance, which was requested by the finance committee, was worked on. Beginning in August of 23, this was an ordinance designed to protect the town during projects that went over a certain amount, which also triggered the designation of a professional clerk of the works, as well as protect the town's interests. The ordinance draft was sent to the Board of Selectmen and Board of Finance on July 26 of 2024. And no formal communication was ever sent to the ordinance committee regarding their review of the act via ordinance. Three, the public health and safety ordinance, which was sent to the Board of Selectmen in March of 24. To this date, no action was taken on the ordinance after approving it in a meeting and a vote. Four, the noise ordinance was requested and sent to the Borough and Board of Selectmen. Following the hard work of the committee, it was thrown out, but with no communication to the committee until I requested a formal letter stating that it was dropped. Formal communication to the committees is crucial to the actual form of leadership of the Board of Selectmen. 5, on March 4th of 25, I received an email from the first selectman requesting review of the Registrar of Voters and Elections ordinance, which was last reviewed in June of 2002. We also began to look at the election ordinance, which looks to have been reviewed around 1959 and other parts in the 1800s. The committee drafted an ordinance for the Registrar of Voters and sent it to the Board of Selectmen and the Registrar of Voters for review. And the Board of Selectmen still have not given a formal response on that. 6, the infamous building permit ordinance was requested to be worked on by the second selectman and by the building inspector around January of 24. In April of 24, after working diligently on the ordinance and never hearing back from the building department, we had put the draft on hold. On September 4th of 25, I received an official request for the building permit again. The committee worked diligently again with the specific instructions provided again by the building inspector and then second selectman Martin McKinney. On September 5th, the draft was sent to the first selectman and stated they would discuss it. Nothing has been heard back or any communication since. And I again followed up on October 20th, 25 with the building department and the second selectman, Martin McKinney. And the only person that actually responded to me was the assistant building inspector saying that they were looking at it. So no form of communication again from any of the leadership. In addition, we have reviewed all current ordinances and revised approximately 75%, as Wayne stated, of them so far, and they are done in the draft form and ready to send to the Board of Selectmen for review once the whole board committee itself votes on it. We have also drafted new ordinances, including town government functions, committees, etc., in these possible drafts. The leaving of the power the Board of Selectmen that have change of ordinances with no checks and balances leaves the residents at the mercy of 3 people or 5 people in the future. And overall communication has been lacking from the Board of Selectmen with every committee, including the ordinance committee, which has put the whole work of the ordinance committee on hold. So I don't think it's fair to disband an ordinance committee saying that they have not worked diligently or is not efficient when it's a good checks and balance for the Board of Selectmen to have people in the town committee looking and reviewing and working with them as a whole. So again, not to put a huge burden on this, but again, like we stated, and I've heard multiple times with the EDC, ordinance committee, public health and safety, communication needs to be worked on, and that's the only issue that's taking place, not the committees doing the work. That's all I have.
Okay, well, I think that when we sit and we meet, I think a lot of those questions are going to be answered. Because there are answers to what you present. So to be continued.
I just wanted to get the facts out there as much as part
No,
of it.
I know.
This committee has.
I do have one question though. On the ordinance committee, was there a subcommittee formed to review Or was it done as an entire ordinance committee? Was there a group of people, no, let me finish.
Yeah.
Was there a group of people that were assigned to go over and decide what that ordinance would look like?
Which ordinance?
Any ordinance, was there a subcommittee formed? Or was it the entire ordinance committee?
We had some subcommittees formed to look at large ordinances, but as an overall, the committee votes on what gets presented to the board of selectmen, well, as a whole.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's my only question. Okay. All right, any other public forum?
Dave View, 59 Leah Avenue. Got three questions. The first one is on available positions. In the past, when a position was announced, the first response was taken. And that's who was made the committee member. In all honesty, I don't think that's appropriate because the word may not get out there quick enough and we may be losing out on the best, most qualified person for the job. And we need to get away from that. First response is the member. Secondly, on your ethics commission, I am not a registered Democrat. I am not a registered Republican. When it comes down to it, I know I'm not alone in this town as an independent voter. And when you guys are teaming up two parties in ethics, that kind of leaves the rest of our opinion out to lunch. Which it may be, but it kind of leaves us out in the wind.
Okay.
And finally, on the current subject of the ordinance committee, I am 100% behind disbanding it. The ordinance committee has turned into a subcommittee where other members are ignored, or you have two people in this subcommittee making the ordinances up or changing them, goes to the chairperson who approves them, and that's it. They come back, they may come back for a vote. If they come back for a vote, I have experienced several times where what was voted on by the committee in general was later modified by the chairperson or subcommittee saying, oh, we have to have this in there by law. Well, then it should come back to the committee for reapproval. We shouldn't just make changes without involving the whole committee. I think the committee has turned out to be just a pleasure fiasco for three people, and the rest of us are out. I was voted as the assistant chair on 4 different occasions. When the chair could not make it, he wanted somebody else to head the meeting up. Oh, I forgot you were the assistant chair. Well, it's voted on and recorded. So I'm really I was kind of glad that the Board of Selectmen decided to abolish it, and I support them 100%.
Thank you, Dave.
And I will be happy to discuss that with anyone at a later date.
Thank you.
I do want to say, Dave, I appreciate the idea of having maybe 2 of those ethics seats being independent or unaffiliated in addition to 2 and 2 from the larger parties. I think that would be more representative of our town is like 47% either unaffiliated or independent voters. So I think that's a really good suggestion.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public forum? Jim?
Jim Barney, 735 Oakville Road. Number of comments, I guess. The four and 2 that we were talking about there. I think we need to go. I mean, Dave alluded to it in his last comment here about the independence, whatever you want to call us. We have no representation essentially, okay? And we are the majority of the town. And so I think something needs to be looked at in real depth there so that independents don't have to be petitioning candidates and stuff like that. In regards to the ordinance, there's a few points there that Dave, that I would agree with Dave, but the majority of them I would disagree with Dave on. I've been on the ordinance committee. That was the second committee I got involved with in this town. And when I got on that ordinance committee, I spent a multiple number of hours. I went through and I read that entire ordinance book. And I made 14 pages of notes on things in that ordinance book that needed to be looked at. Some of them was so far out of whack that it didn't even make any sense.
Can anybody tell me when the ordinance committee was formed? How long ago?
2016.
When was it, Lori?
2016.
2016?
Okay, thank you.
And I guess I'll probably stop at that point, but, certainly was a subcommittee appointed, okay? I was one of the members of that subcommittee. We spent a lot of time, generally from 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning until like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, reviewing ordinances that we had been asked to review, okay? We submitted those and went to the full board, et cetera, et cetera. So I think that the ordinance committee, needs to exist. Somebody used the term checks and balances,
Mhm.
et cetera.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Any other public forum? Yes.
Lori Sawyer, 67 Ashland Street. I just wanna comment on the ethics, composition there. Nobody has really seen what you guys are seeing. Does it read that it has to be 4 and 2, or is it at least 4 and 2?
These
Because
are,
that would be the minimum, representation.
Yeah,
So-
I think it specifies minimum representation.
And so that would then tell you it has to be at least 4 and 2, but it could be 3 and 3, or 2 and 2,
It
and,
says,
Yeah.
No more than 3 shall be members of the same political party to no more than 4.
yeah, so that's just the minimum representation thing. I don't think it,
Yeah.
specifies that it has to be.
that
4
it
and
has
2.
to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
My thought was that it should specify that it cannot be a majority
Mhm.
of any one or the other, because it's not the school building committee, it's not the EDC, it's ethics, which all of us are subject to the ethics code.
Mhm.
equally.
Mhm. Mhm. Well, I still got the floor, Rich.
I know you're.
I know. And the other thing that I wanted to just bring up to you guys so that you're aware, because it's gonna be coming to you.
Mhm.
The borough is looking into investing into what they call flock safety cameras. They are cameras that take a very precise picture of a make of a car and a license plate number. It goes into a national database, so if there is someone that is wanted, they come into Jewett City, that will go into that national database, and the resident troopers will get notified, and the troop will get notified, and they'll be able to work on that. There's an example that was perfect at one of our meetings when we had the accident at the Pizza Palace, when the woman was tragically killed. The borough cameras picked up the license plate. The police put it into that flock database, and they found that person in Stonington. So, I made a couple of phone calls today. The area, towns that are utilizing these flock cameras are Lisbon, Norwich. Preston is signed on, but they haven't been installed. Ledyard, Mashantucket, Montville, and Groton. So I'd like to, if you guys are open to it, I'd like to ask the flock safety people that presented to us to present to you. And of course, there is a cost involved, like everything else.
Like
It's
everything else,
$3,000 per camera per year. But I'm gonna quote Tom Sparkman, who said it's an incredible investment of safety for your community. So, if it's okay with you, you guys tell me when you would like to have a presentation, if you would like to have a presentation. And I can try to set it up with, the contact at Flock Safety.
Okay, well, we can make that one of our, agenda items when we meet.
I would also love to further discuss that with you, because I don't know how deeply you've gone into that particular company and how they share information. But I have to tell you that those are, yes, incredibly useful tools in terms of safety, but there are already multiple lawsuits against that company, from what I've
Flock
read.
Safety?
Because of how they are sharing information and how certain law enforcement groups in different regions are using it, and it's pretty dangerous stuff. And in fact, part of the concern in the towns that are using it in Connecticut is we have the Connecticut Trust Act, and it's a potential violation of that as well, so.
And that would be, that would be great conversation to have, also great conversation to bring up to the representative.
Yeah, I would love
You
to
know.
pick his brain about it,
Yeah.
so I think that'd be great to.
Yeah, so if you guys have that on your agenda and you decide on when you would like that, presentation, if you want the presentation, then, you can let me know and we can work together to set that up.
Okay, all right, I'm gonna make a
Thank you.
note of that, Laura.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, thank you. Yes, Rich,
A little rebuttal to what,
Rich Wazelik.
sorry. A little rebuttal of what we were being accused of on the committee. Every single document that has been voted on was voted on by the whole committee to be accepted and sent out for distribution. So everybody had a chance to read it, everybody had a chance to comment on it. And if Dave was skipped over as vice chairman, not co-chairman, vice chairman, I apologize, but there's always a chance in me to say I'm the vice chair and I am actually, that is my job. So if that wasn't done, I can't comment on that. But the committee worked hard,
Yes,
Everything was
you've told us.
documented 100%. If anybody wants to see it, I actually have it all right here for some light reading
Okay,
tonight.
well, we will be discussing the ordinance committee,
So I
so,
think also it might be a good opportunity to also maybe have the chairman and vice chairman in the meeting if you want to also discuss.
we'll make that decision. Thank you, Rich. Jim?
But also on the flat cameras, and so I have experience using them and they are a great tool. I use them at work all the time. And I think, I don't know about the Connecticut Trust Act, I haven't read up on it, but the company does not violate any privacy laws. And everything is dumped after 30 days in the database. Everything that is searched is documented 100% with an incident number, why it's being looked at and searched for and everything else. So as far as documentation, it's also covered inside of. And me personally at work, it's to cover murder suspects, larceny suspects, burglary suspects, missing people and everything else. So I think it is a great tool just to pass on as a user of it as well. That's all.
Okay, well, thank you for that information. We'll certainly wait to hear from the flock.
Jim Barney, 735 Hopewell Road. I'd like the Board of Selectmen to look into what the possibilities are for us that are independents
You're not
and don't have a Republican or a Democratic town committee behind us. How can we run for office without this petition candidate, as I understand?
Well, I can tell you it is being researched.
Okay.
And actually, as a resident, you can do that, Jim. You can form your own committee. You don't really need to have us form it for you. You can look into it, form your own committee.
Yeah.
And also the flock camera thing, I sat in on that presentation. And Matt, I will tell you, the guy was asked the same question that did the presentation, and he pretty much said the same thing. Rich said that all that information is kept close to the vest, so. I understand your concern. I haven't seen that information you've read, but he pretty much said it's pretty secure. So, you know.
Yeah, I mean, the privacy part of it, not to belabor the conversation, because that's maybe for another meeting. But really is related to sharing information with third parties. But the reality of it is, if a sheriff in Texas decides that he wants to find out where a Texas resident went to have a medical procedure in another state, he can log into the flock cameras and see where it is. And there's a lot of Big Brother to it. There's a lot of great things that happen with it, but there's a lot of danger on the other side of it as well. So that was I want to make sure that when we talk about it, we're talking about all of what comes with it and not just the sales rep version of why it's good.
Okay.
Okay, yes.
Dayview 59 Leah Avenue. Regarding the flock cameras, do they want to be installed for a specific purpose? Like watching red light violators, speeders to prosecute, or is this just a Big Brother's watching thing?
It doesn't do anything with red light or speeding or anything like that. It purely and only scans vehicle, make, model, and license plates. That's it. That is all it does. They claim they don't scan any human, any features, anything like that. Make, model, license plate of the car, that's it. That's what they say.
Very, very quickly,
No,
Rich,
just to add,
please.
but he's 100% correct. I'll just add on to that.
Mhm.
It does not even have a view inside the car.
There you go.
So that's all.
Jim?
Jim Barney, 735 Oakville Road. I want to thank the two new, select people on the board. Sounds like they're gonna be very diligent and, very involved. I appreciate you, sir.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you. Any
That
other-
doesn't exclude you, I.
No, that's fine. No, that's fine. Give them, and I'm good with it, believe me. Any other public forum? Yes,
One comment on the ethics, I did look online, there's multiple towns that have one spot for non-affiliated in their ethics commissions.
okay.
All right.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Hearing no other public forum, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I will motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
We have a motion to adjourn at 6:51. We have a second. All in favor? Aye. Now, you have an event to get to.